Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Space Engineers as a German engineer. If you're new here, I'm Daniel. I've been born and raised in Germany, and I've been living and working as a software engineer in the San Francisco Bay Area, Silicon Valley, for the last 10 or so years. The last episode, we finished the rocket silo. We now have a chamber, doors, we have a control room, we have a boarding area, and we have an elevator that can stop on 4 different levels of the rocket silo. It is time for us to start working on the actual rocket. But before we go there, I now have stickers. If you would like to get some of these stickers, it's as simple as supporting me for $5 or more on Patreon. So go down in the description, find the link to my Patreon, and go and sign up, and I will make sure to get you some. But now, let's go and check out the rocket. Okay, here we are in the silo. So this is the rough shape outline of the rocket. Oh, and you know what I noticed? Our control room, we botched it. It's not centered. I don't know how this happened. I'm totally gonna move this. I cannot deal with this. This needs to be centered. So I will probably either do this later in this episode or maybe off camera, but like I don't know how that happened. But okay, rocket. It's rocket time. This is gonna be the rough outline of the rocket. So we'll have, if we have like an outside wall here, and yes, I'm gonna build a large grid because I want all the good stuff on board. I want to have refinery on board. I want to have assemblers on board. I want it to be basically a mobile base, so that we can use it to kickstart our journey in space. But yeah, if this here are all wall blocks, and this will leave this space here for interiors. It's gonna be a little tight, but I think we can make it happen. One of the things that I was wondering, so when we put down the blocks for the outer walls, we halfway through we realized, why don't we just use a blueprint to put them down, and then we had a welding rig that we were pulling up to weld them all up. Not sure if that is the right approach for the rocket, a welding rig that we pull up. I mean, I guess we could build it that way, but I was also thinking, but if we wanted to do that, we would have to do a blueprint and then replicate the blueprint multiple times. And so what I was thinking is, could we build a crawler that can crawl up the side of the rocket and at the same time weld it up? It would lay its own conveyor blocks into the rocket that it could connect to, such that it can pull the material basically from the rocket that it builds while it's crawling it up. I'm not sure if I love or hate the idea. It just seems a lot can go wrong trying to build something like that. And the rocket's not going to be that tall. I could probably lay down the blocks manually and then just have some kind of welding setup, maybe even hanging from the top again with a bunch of pistons, similar to how we welded up the chamber. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the best approach here is. I will have to make a decision. What you guys can help me with is, this is my first time leaving a planet in Space Engineers, and I have very little experience what will await us out there. And I do believe there are some pirates and other stuff that might come and attack us if we get too close to them. So I've been wondering 2 questions. A, will we need weapons on this ship? And B, should we not be building it out of light armor blocks, but instead heavy armor blocks, so that we are a little bit more sustainable when it comes to being shot at? I'm not sure, and I'd love to get your feedback. I think the weapons question, we can probably retrofit weapons on this. Should we be using heavy or light armor blocks? I think I need to make this call before I start laying down the blocks. Upgrading them will be a little bit of a hassle, so not sure. We also need to make sure that we can turn this into a ship, so that it's not connected to the floor, and that we can disconnect the blocks. Yeah. Oh, wow, okay. The heavy armor block requires so much more material. Wow. I think we'll build it from light armor blocks, and if we get messed up and we regret a decision, then we can always come back and build a new one using heavy armor blocks. And please yell at me in the comments if this is a really bad decision. Let's see also, how many blocks will we need to put down? It's going to be 24 blocks per layer. Yeah, I don't think it makes sense to build a sophisticated contraption. I think it will be quicker to just put down the blocks. We'll have to put down the blocks before we're even done with building that contraption, basically. One other thing that I need to do is I need to figure out how I want to set up the thrusters. So obviously what I'm walking on right now is not going to be the actual floor of the spaceship. This is probably going to be where the thrusters sit. Maybe one layer higher up, just so there's a block of height that I can use to get under the vehicle if I need to. So I probably should just put down blocks. Well, first of all, I should see how I fit thrusters in here. But then I should just go ahead and put blocks all the way up. And then I will put floors on multiple levels within the ship. I think what I want to use is a ladder that goes all the way up and down the ship, essentially, for getting to the different levels in the ship. And then the different levels will have different things. Like there will be a level that we can access the thrusters from on the inside. There will be a level that for like the H2 storage. There will be a level for like other storage and for assemblers and refineries and stuff like that. We'll need a medical bay. Medical room and some other things. We'll need an area where we actually kind of like can connect the ship to the station, and in terms of material and charging, right? So a connector somewhere, and the internal infrastructure to support that. And then we will also need a cockpit, and I want to have this on the very top of the ship. And I want to have kind of like a cone, and the cockpit is going to be different. Like basically all the floors within the ship are going to be horizontal to P gravity, right? So like you would use these spaces standing as I am standing here right now, but the cockpit will be different. The cockpit will be aligned upwards. So while you are in P gravity, you would basically be, your back would be pointing downwards, and you would look to the top, out of the spaceship towards the top. And you would have a cockpit in there that you can then sit in, and you would sit this way. And then once you're in space, the question what is up becomes kind of irrelevant. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. We also need to figure out how exactly we want to do the outside hull. So I want the rocket to be roughly spherical or like cylindrical. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be roughly. So we'll need to see like how exactly which blocks we use. We need to use some half blocks and stuff like that, right? To kind of like make this look a little bit more round. I don't really want to come out further than this here, so I don't think I'll put like any blocks sticking out more here, but I might. That's not the only problem with that, is that we might have to adjust the length of the access bridge up here, wherever it is. I think over there. I'll certainly need a couple layers at least to shape it so I can get an impression of what it looks like. Also, I'm not convinced it makes sense to have these blocks in here. Speaking of shaping, right? These here are probably going to be some form of half block or slope blocks instead. Probably not exactly these, because they create quite a steep angle then. Although, that's not really gonna make this any better, is it? No. And this already helps making it more round. And now we're already in the middle of actually shaping it. Let me put these corner blocks here. I think they seem to be making a lot of sense. So just so we get an impression what it looks like. I assume like using these corner blocks will also make this structurally a little bit less sound, especially when it comes to damage taken. So maybe we want to use heavy armor for some of these kind of corner blocks to reinforce these parts here a little bit, so that we don't like basically immediately have like pressure leaks in areas like this here. But yeah, I mean, this basically gives us already the shape that we want. Okay, let's look at thrusters though, while we're here already messing around with things. Obviously, since we're going to go to space with this ship, we will need hydrogen thrusters. So we have the industrial ones, and we have the non-industrial ones. And I think I like the visuals of the non-industrial ones better. The large ones are 3x3, and the small ones are just 1x1. One thing to note is neither of these, I think, are airtight on any side. Well, it's not entirely true. Parts of the bottom are airtight on both of them, I believe. That's something that we will need to keep a close eye on while working on this. But obviously, these parts that are open here in the corners, these are not airtight. But I do think we want to build this in a way that we can access these thrusters from the inside of the ship, so that we can repair them or weld them from the inside of the ship without having to leave the ship, ideally. If we can't make that happen, then we can't make that happen, but I think that would be preferable. I also don't know exactly how many thrusters we will need for the ship. How much space do we have? On the inside, we would have not quite enough space for 4. If we use some outside space, however, we can definitely fit 4 large thrusters. Maybe not 4. I just realized. We can fit 2. This is actually a little bit annoying. I'd love to be able to fit more thrusters without having to leave the skirt, basically. We can't. This block here is intersecting. Yeah, so we need to raise the walls higher. I should probably do a little bit of research how much lift these thrusters provide, so I get an idea of how much we might need. Obviously, I don't know what weight the spaceship will be when it's done, but I could probably roughly estimate it. Like an order of magnitude estimate we should be able to do. So now we have 3 blocks of height, and then still 1 block down here of space underneath. So if we just fit the engines in here now, we should be good. Leave the space here open so we have access, and then we'll close this off over here. And then we could just put 1 engine right here. I mean, that would probably work fine. In fact, we could probably, if we wanted, leave the remainder of the skirt and or use some just panels to kind of like cover this up a little bit here. Let me quickly check what the weight rating on these here is, the lift rating. So the large hydrogen thrusters have a maximum thrust of 7,200 kilonewtons. I believe that means they can lift, so it's divided by 10, right? So this 720 tons, or like divided by planetary gravity technically, which is Earth-like, is like roughly 10 meters per second. It's 9.8, I think, technically, but so this will give me 720 tons of lift. So 2 is going to be plenty for our main lift capacity. I will have to add some conveyor here. So the hydrogen thrusters, for those of you who might not know, unlike like atmospheric thrusters, they actually need to be hooked up to the conveyor system to be able to pull hydrogen. And then I will have to have sufficient hydrogen storage in here. And hydrogen storage tanks are 3x3 in size as well. So I can actually only have 1 of these on the inside of this. Now I'm starting to debate with myself if I should change the dimensions of the ship. If I were to increase the dimensions, these 3x3 blocks would fit much better in here. Both the hydrogen tanks as well as the thrusters. Can I use the hydrogen tanks themselves as... No, they're not airtight on any sides, so I won't be able to use these, like, on the outside, basically. Although, they might be airtight on these extrusions here. So if I were to put them like this, I might be able to get them airtight. There's a gap down here, which is probably real. Here. I mean, so ultimately, right, I can either stack multiple of them on top of each other, which is definitely possible, or I can expand the hull to get more space on the inside, so I can put multiple of them next to each other. And obviously, I can also just use like the small tanks for additional hydrogen storage. How much do these store? Let me quickly check that. The large hydrogen thruster is going to consume 5,000 liters per second, right at maximum thrust, and then we'll add a couple of smaller size hydrogen thrusters in there as well. So we're gonna have, like, let's say something like 16,000 liters per second that we're using. So 2 large hydrogen thrusters and 6 smaller hydrogen thrusters to get like the maximum amount of lift. And we probably don't need anywhere as much. But like, let's do 16 to 20,000 liters per second. How long can we sustain that amount of thrust with one hydrogen tank? Gas capacity is 15 million liters. So 15,000 divided by 20 is 750 seconds. Says is airtight as partially. What does that mean? Okay, large ship hydrogen tanks are airtight in a cross pattern. If you fill the corners of the 3x3, they're airtight. Okay, now I kind of want to test it. Because if I can use them on the outside, that would make my life easier. I wanted to see if this event will actually work the way that I've set it up, or if I needed to connect it to conveyor for it to actually work. And I've closed off the space here and wanted to weld it up so I could see that if the event would actually depressurize the space. And I ran out of energy.
Your health is low.
And now I can't remove these blocks here, and now I'm just gonna die in this corner miserably by myself. And I'm dead. Okay, just so that to show you guys what I've done, I've fully encased, well, not fully, right? I've half encased this tank. What that means is I've closed off the sides, but I've used the tank itself in this 3x2, is it 3x2 or 3x3 area to see if it would seal off this like wall here basically. But it appears like these little cracks that I've pointed out earlier that I was suspicious of, they will leak air. So if I go in here and close these doors, like this should turn green if this was a pressurized space, and it does not. So I'm not going to be able to use these tanks on the outside like this. I will have to enclose them. So maybe I'll just do 2 tanks high, and then a bunch of smaller ones Like one large one, 750 seconds. That's like 10 minutes of thrust, non-stop at maximum. Yeah, so I think if I use one or two large ones, maybe a couple small ones, I should be fine. So I think putting on the inside is going to be okay. Okay. I should remove this floor space here so I can access the thrusters. I need to make sure that I don't disconnect this construction though from the base, but I do have these conveyors set up here right now that connects it. And I should also see where down here I can put some more thrusters and how I'll be able to potentially at least make these thrusters accessible from the inside of the ship. Okay, so I cleared this out a little bit. We need to figure out conveyor, and we need to do up here. I'm gonna grind these blocks in the center. I'm gonna leave the outer skirt though, because that still connects everything, and I don't want anything to come crashing down. So the inner blocks I'm gonna grind away, so we can run conveyors. Okay, so I've cleared out the blocks on top. I will run some conveyors to connect these two. I think I can just run some conveyor right between them here. And I'll put some blocks down with the intention of sealing them off to the outside, but keeping them accessible so that I could, in theory at least, weld them up from the inside. And then I'll take a look at where else I can put some more thrusters, like the 1x1 thrusters. I might use the industrial 1x1 thrusters though. I do like these better. Okay, so I have run most of the conveyor and the thrusters that I need. I've also put these hydrogen tanks down here, so we're gonna use a stack of 2 hydrogen tanks. the layer that I'm walking on here is going to be the floor, and you will be able to see this a little bit better once it's welded up probably, but I can access the large hydrogen thrusters from up here. So I will be able to repair them from up here if I need to. Most of the conveyors that I've run down here are conveyor pipes, and I've used the industrial thrusters for the small ones and the other ones for the large ones. I used these conveyor blocks here. I'm treating them as running in pressurized space. So the interior of these blocks is going to be pressurized, whereas the airtight spaces are pointing to the outside. And in spots where there's transitions between outside and outside inside conveyors, I put conveyor junction blocks like these because they are airtight on all sides. And I had to put a conveyor junction here because if I had put another reinforced conveyor tubes, I would leak air into the inside because the sides that have ports are always open for the reinforced conveyors. So this conveyor junction block kind of like creates this seal, this airtight seal here to the outside. Right now I'm running the conveyor from over here. I think ultimately, because on this side, this is where the bridge is, actually I want to have the connector on this side of the ship. And that's where I'm going to run the conveyor up as well. So on basically this conveyor here will go all the way up to the top of the ship. And wherever I need conveyor, I will just branch off of this. And then the connector ultimately will be somewhere over there. I think next order of business is to just raise these walls a little bit higher. So in addition to running the conveyor all the way to the top, I will also need to run a ladder all the way to the top. And I need to figure out where I want to put that. I don't think I can put it on this side. That's where the gate is. So I think the ladder should be able to run all the way up and down. So I don't think I should put it here because I need to put a door or something here on this side up there. So the ladder will probably either be there or there. And since we have our control room over here, I'll put the ladder on that side. I may want to put windows or something on this side so that you can actually look into the spacecraft as well from the control room. And so I think the only question is how we're going to put it down, because there is the freestanding ladder and then there's this ladder shaft. If we put the ladder shaft all the way here, I'm pretty sure it itself is airtight, but we wouldn't have the ability to transition between ladder shaft and the regular ladder here, right? Because we couldn't put the ladder here. That would not be airtight. I guess we could just put a ladder here. Then probably have that go up all the way until we leave this particular section here. And then this here could be a ladder shaft.
No.
And then this entire distance, just regular ladder. Let me put down these blocks here and then get back to you. here we are for now. I've welded up the tanks, mostly to get conveyor up. I haven't welded up these conveyors on the side here yet, but it's going to be some redundancy here. And I've moved the cargo container from over here to here. And then I put the ladder in here, so you can already go all the way up here. And then here's a floor with nothing for now. So I'm going to continue raising the walls up, so I get a better idea how much space we have. I do want to have a couple more layers here for storage and for refineries and for assemblers. I need a level where we'll have a medical room. I think that level is going to be the same level at which the air vent is going to be. Air vent, is that the right word? That's not the right word here. The airlock. So this level here will have an airlock, and that's also where I want the medical room, so that when we're working in space outside, we need to go in and out of the spaceship for healing up and charging and whatnot. We can do that easily on the level that has the air vent. It should have the medical station. And I might also put a simple, what are they called here? Survival kit accessible from the outside. I wonder if I can make a survival kit airtight. I'm not sure. I may have to experiment with that. Yeah, so let me bring the wall up and the conveyor ports, the conveyors and the walls, and then we'll figure out where we want to put what throughout the ship. Okay, so I've raised the outer skin all the way up to the level where the airlock will be. And I think what I want to do now is I actually want to install the airlock. That'll add another layer on top, and then I should be able to build the cone. I do kind of want to finish kind of like the outer perimeter, basically, of the rocket, at least in terms of placing the blocks, that I know what the shape will be in the end. And then I'll fill in the interior at a later point, like after we've welded everything up, I think, and stuff like that. But yeah, let me install the kind of the access layer here, and I'll also put on this layer, I will put a medical room, and then we'll make it easier to finish the build from here, because I don't have to go all the way to the other medical room down there all the time. So I've welded up all the blocks, obviously, to make sure that I can pressurize this space. I need to weld up all the blocks. I needed to block the ladder as well. And when I close this door now, it becomes pressurized. This here is a little clowny. I just noticed this. It's fine. It's airtight. But I'll probably need to figure out how to do this here. Right now, I just have a panel down here. Maybe I won't use a panel here. I think once... Oh, no. Okay. Oops. Okay, I did not consider this. With the automatons update, I think we'll get a 1x1 air vent block, so we might not need this outside panel here anymore to, at least not, maybe to place the door, but at least not for pressurization kind of reasons. But yeah, to place the door, I guess what we can do is we can use this one here. And then we should be able to put the door there. Now the question is, will this still fit here? And I don't think it will. Let's see. Let's try. Yeah. Maybe we can put this one here. Will that still fit? At least in theory it should, I think. Pretty sure it's the door that's in the way. Yeah, so this is why I originally wanted to put it on a piston. To be able to push it out, in and out. I guess in theory, at least, we can just leave it like this. No, we can't. We fall. I guess I could have this block come out more. Again, in theory, at least. Maybe there's some other block that we can use. Oh, looks good. Perfect. Nice. Little hack, but it works. So that's okay with me. Oh, I already I'm getting starting to get like an impression of how this will look. This will be so cool. Super excited. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is we need to build the cone. And we don't have a whole lot of space anymore, but I think it should be enough. First, I think we need to get the ladder up. So, how do I build the cone of the ship? There's a couple of thoughts. So first of all, I want it to be... I want it to have as much glass as possible. I want to be able to look out, look around, and see stuff. I need some kind of cockpit or control panel. I probably want some dashboards and stuff. And I definitely want the cargo container control panels I already mentioned. Yeah, kind of something like that. So let's see, what do we have in terms of glass? We can put these here. And we probably want to, let's see, a cockpit. Something like this. Maybe a control station like this. Or control seat like this. But it needs to be looking up. So we need to probably something like this here. Like so. Guess this works. Okay. So I think the question, however, is now with these windows, how do we get them to kind of come together like a cone? And I have a feeling that we might not be able to do this with these corner pieces here. It might be a little bit too tall. Like that. And then but I am not sure how to do the corner here now. Or maybe we need to do the corner pieces more using more blocks, non-transparent blocks than the windows. Maybe we're just too limited in our ability to shape the windows here. Okay, so I think this here roughly is what I've been imagining. So I used some regular blocks out here, but then glass panes in these areas and on top. I might replace this large 3x3 glass pane with a smaller glass pane, so I can put some transparent displays in here. Or maybe I'll put them on the inside somewhere. But yeah, I think this is decent. I think I should weld up some blocks. I think what I want to do is look into building a weld chip that I can actually fit in here. I talked about building a weld chip again, and I need something that is small enough to actually fit into these corners here between the rocket and the silo. Maybe we should do that. So we have up to 4 blocks of space, but I think we want to have something that is actually smaller than that. Let's maybe go over here. Let's see here. Maybe we'll use this landing gear here. Large magnetic plate. We'll need a cargo container, and a welder, and a cockpit. Some thrusters, and a connector. I think I want the welder on a hinge again. And since a lot of our connectors are actually vertically, I think I need to have the connector in the bottom. But I'm only going to have one cargo container. Is a large one going to be too much? How much can we fit into a medium one? Medium cargo container can hold 3,300 liters. One steel plate is 3 liters and 20 kilograms. So a medium cargo container can hold 1,000 steel plate. That's 20,000 kilograms. So one large atmospheric thruster can carry almost 60,000 kilograms. So one large atmospheric thruster can do 2 medium cargo containers. But we'll also have a connector, which can carry 1,000. And we'll have a cockpit, which can carry another 1,000. And a welder, which can carry 6,000 in volume. Whoa. That's even more than a medium cargo container, isn't it? Yeah, wow. So the welder is going to be all the storage that we need. So the welder is going to be 6,000, which at 3 liters is 2,000. It's 40,000. Yeah, we don't even need a cargo container. We just need the welder. We do need something to kind of like connect everything together though, which might be a medium cargo container. Let me do this over. The hinge comes out 1 block, and then the welder 2 more blocks. That's 3 blocks. So I kind of want the hinge, I think, next to the foot. Maybe the cockpit is above the... Yeah, I think that makes sense then. Then the welder's going to be next to the cockpit. Maybe we'll use a helm. I did want to put the thruster here, which I can't if I want to put the hinge there. So we're going to do 1 large thruster on it. I was gonna make it 2x2 essentially, but I'm not sure if I can do that. So maybe I am going to do 3 deep. But that would make... No, the conveyor junction here. Put the hinge here, and then the welder on top. It'll make this a total length of 4 blocks, which is basically too much. But the hinge will need to be attached. I guess it could be underneath. The hinge could be underneath. So if we put the conveyor junction up here, then we could put the hinge here. And then the welder could be right here, like this. But the thruster would have to be in the front then here, I guess. Well, this whole thing could be also... I don't need to bring it this far up. In fact, I probably don't want to have it this far up. Instead, I want to put the junction here. And then the hinge here. Yeah, that's better. I could put that here. And I need a special dock for it because I can't use the ones that I have. Should be fine. Should probably start welding some of these things up. Me here. At this point I ran into the GeForce Now session limit and I lost the remainder of the spectator footage for this build. With a better setup and a dedicated spectator PC, this would have not happened. But for now, this is what we gotta deal with. Let's keep on going. No! I forgot to put a gyro on it. This is what happens when you don't put a gyro on it. Okay. Let's see if I can save it. Oh, no. Oh, no! Oops. I'm not sure what I did wrong here. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay, let's give that another shot here. Why is building small grid ships so hard? And then also I actually realized I think if I really only use the welder as storage, then I can probably get away with just doing connector hinge welder, right? So I would... Okay, so I think this time, hopefully, it'll work out. Let's see. Unlocked, okay. I'm flying. I'm not falling. But I landed again. I see. I think the problem here is that the dampeners can't deal with the hinge correctly. It's not the end of the world, but it's also not great. But it's flying, and I think let's just get the connector here in the other direction. There we go. Oh. Let's see here. Let's get the connector on here quickly so we can lock it. And load it up with steel plate. Let's check the ship's mass. That's way too heavy, right? Okay, how much I have? This welder only has 3,000 liters. It's at 6,000. That's not correct. That must have been a large grit welder, not a small grit welder. So actually, I do want a medium cargo container probably on this still, right? I have like 1,400 steel plate in here, which I should be able to easily lift. This is not easily. Oh, I'm really struggling with controlling this. Oh. No, this is not working. This is not working. These dampeners are not lifting. They're not doing their job. Not at all. And the game crashed. What an annoyance. What if I toggle on shear inertia tensor on the hinge? Will that have an impact on the dampeners? Let's see where we are. I don't know where we saved the game. Oh, we're still docked. Okay, that's good. I guess we saved this craft indirectly. How are we loaded up? No. Okay. Yeah, so without shear inertia tensor, I don't think we can do this. Oh, I think this might have fixed it. Yeah, that looks good. Nice. Perfect. Well, then I think we can actually make this happen. Let's see if we can undock. We can, and it's stable. That's good. The only thing is we don't have enough battery. We do not have enough battery. But that might just be a matter of loading the battery, right? What charge is that? We have like 13 minutes or something like that. Then if we have it fully loaded, that should give us almost an hour. That should be fine. So we just need to charge it. Okay. Let's charge it, and I'll wait for it to be charged before I continue. I forgot to hit record. Oh, hey guys. So I think I forgot to hit record for the last, I don't know, half an hour. First of all, I crashed my weld chip. It's not too bad. I think I can probably weld it, fix it up again. There's just I think the actual hinge and welder came off, but other than that, and I guess the landing foot, but other than that, most of the things are still in place, even though clearly this damaged. I think I flew it into the light here or something like that. I should probably remove this because it's not really doing anything anymore now that this is welded up. I'm 75 or so % done. I think there's only this area here that's not welded up yet. Otherwise I've welded up most of the outside. Obviously not everything, there's like still these up here that are not welded up. But yeah. Let me fix the welder and then weld up the rest, and then we can quickly look at it. Give me a couple minutes. Okay, the outer skin of the ship is welded up. I also applied some color to it. I painted it white for now, or like a not quite a white, like an off-white. But I think I like it. The windows still need to be welded up here, and I haven't welded up the thrusters yet. But I think we're getting there. This here is the entrance, obviously. I'll fix up the interiors at a later point. The upstairs? Okay. We have lots of space in here now for all the other stuff that we still need to put in here. Refineries and assemblers and storage, yada yada yada. And I noticed that these hydrogen tanks suck the hydrogen out of my base, and my hydrogen generator used up all my ice to produce more hydrogen, and now there's a little bit of hydrogen in these tanks, and I need to fill up my bottles using these tanks here. But yeah. Maybe the information that I provided last time is not correct. The power dependency is 0%, but they are not on. Now they're on. Now they're off. So I'm not sure. Okay, so we're not done with building the rocket, but we made some meaningful progress. We constructed the outer hull. We can also move these things. Weld up engines we still need to do. And build out interior. Decorate interior. Reinforce armor. Weapons. Side thrusters. And gyros. Oh, 2 generation. So yeah, let me know if you guys think if I should add some weapons, and if I need to reinforce the armor, or if the light armor blocks that I've been using will be enough. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more like this, make sure to subscribe. I upload Space Engineers videos every week, and there's lots of other stuff to explore on the channel. And if you know somebody whom you think might enjoy this video too, please make sure to share it with them. It's the best way to help the channel grow. And if you want to support the channel financially, please do so through my Patreon. There's a link in the description below. And if you pledge at least $5 a month, you will get some of these amazing stickers in your mail very soon from me. Thanks a lot for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.